Hello everyone, welcome to Neuron Safari at Brain Awareness Week, and in this video I'm going to be talking you through my experimental zone. So this is a brand new zone, especially for Brain Awareness Week. I'm Richard, by the way, Neuron Safari creator, and yeah, so I'm going to talk you through a little bit about this zone. So this zone is, and say hello to my mouse and ratty friends behind me. Hello. This zone is a chance for you to explore some of the experiments which neuroscientists do sometimes to help them understand how our memory works. And normally we do these with rats and mice, which is why these two friendly creatures are over here. But in this case, you're going to be the test subject. You're going to be like the little rat or mouse who would normally do these experiments. So there are two experiments that I've made, especially. We've got the water maze and the event arena. Now, neither of them, name-wise, really matches what they actually are, but you'll see. Okay, so I think we'll start with the water maze first. So this is a rather strange thing to look at when I'll show you it first. So it's not really a maze. It's a giant pool of water, really. It's kind of like a big bath. And what happens is, and you'll see in a minute, is we put a rat or a mouse into this giant bath normally, and they have to swim around, and they have to find a platform which is hidden. So they can't see it, and you can't see it here either. And then what will happen is once you get close to the platform, you'll be able to land on it and jump on top of it. Now, there is no platform in here at the minute, because we've not started the experiment. But what a mouse or a rat would normally do is they would swim around like this, and they would try and find this platform. So when they first do this task, they don't know where it is. They don't know where to find it, so they swim around lots and lots and lots until they find where the place is. And then once you've done that a couple of times, you can start playing interesting different experiments you can do. And I'll go into that in a bit, and I'll explain why these strange objects are on walls too. But first, let's set up the experiment, show you how this is set up. So, if you're doing this yourself, first things first, you need to activate the right scoreboard. So you can see we've actually got some scoreboard data there for me swimming just then. So, best thing to do once you've done that is reset these buttons here so that everything goes back to 0. And now there are some instructions here and some information you can read. So this gives you some information about the different types of setups you can do. And this gives you some history about what the water maze is and what it does. And I won't go too much into this video. And yeah, some more information here. So they should, hopefully, be everything here that you will need as well as this video in order to run this experiment yourself. Now, there are two types, as I've said. We're going to ignore the pink wool ones for now, and we're going to look at the orange wool ones. So in this case, what we have to do is we have to decide on a location for our platform to be hidden. Now, there are 4 locations which I've coded into these command blocks here. So it sets a different score for each one, which then tells my command block system where to put the platform inside their water maze. So let's go for platform 3. Okay, so I press that button, and now platform 3 is active. Now I've got to choose a start location here. So I need to decide where I'm going to start. Now, obviously, this is a little bit different to how a mouse or a rat does this. They don't get to choose. They don't tell the experimenter that they want to start in a particular place. But for the purposes of doing this as a way of you exploring how this type of experiment works, I've given you the ability to do this. But you could always play this with a friend, and they could actually make all these decisions, and then you can take over when they put you in the pool or something like that. There are different things you can do. Put this on your own multiplayer world, perhaps, and do it like that. You might have to change the coding a bit, but I could help with that. If you want to do that, just contact me. So let's choose location 2 to start. Okay, so now I'm in the pool, and you can see that the timer is now starting to count up. So the things that we measure when we have an animal in here is we measure the amount of time it takes them to find the platform, and then how long it, and then the time, I'm getting it all wrong, the time taken to find the platform, and then how far they've traveled. Now, there are different ways to do this. What they often do is they'll use like a tracking software. So there'll usually be a camera somewhere up here, and it will be tracking where the animal is, and you'll be able to make a map then of where the animal's traveled. I've not been able to do that just right now in Minecraft. So for now, what I've got is this score. So you'll see if I move that this distance score moves up. Now it only moves up if you're above the water. So if you sink below, you can see it doesn't change. So in order to do this properly, and that's how a mouse would do it, is they would stay above the water like this because they're trying to find their way out. And you can't jump out. You're stuck. And you can see you can't see the platform. It's hidden. And it will only appear if you get into the right place where it is. So right now I'm going to have to go and find it because I don't know where it is either. So this may take a while, and hopefully not too long. I have to edit this video. Now, I've run this experiment myself, and so what we think the animals do is that whilst they're trying to swim around like this, there we go, found it. Easy. So you can see now my timer has stopped, and our distance moved to stopped. So what we think happens is an animal searches around this environment for this platform, and then is now safe and dry. And once they've done that, they start looking around more. So they start to pay attention to, when they're stood on this platform here, what is the things around here which can help me find this location more easily in the future. So for example, they might see this kind of strange cross diagram type thing here and go, oh, right, okay, so it's near to this. So next time I'll try and remember to get closer to this one. Or they might say, oh, well, that one's quite far away, these diagonal lines. Or I'm quite close to where I came in through this doorway. Well, it's meant to be a curtain. It's kind of like a curtain. So yeah, so this is what you can do. Now, I've just realized I will need to make it so you can teleport out of here easily enough. So I'll do that when you actually play it yourself. But now you've got that score, say we could try this again and we could see how that would work with a rat. So if you so let's reset everything. So if we put back platform 3, now we know where it is now. So it doesn't matter where we start. We're going to have a much quicker score, I think. So, right, we go, right, okay, so where was that cross that we had before? There it is. Okay, so it must be here. And there it is. And this is the same thing that kind of happens with mice and rats. What they do is they get quicker and quicker and quicker at being able to find the platforms because they start to realize, oh, if I look at these things on the outside of the pool, I can use those to help me navigate. And that's how we kind of start to look at things and memory and how it works in the water maze. Now, it kind of gets a bit more complicated after this because what you start doing is you start changing things. So you can start changing where they start. So as we just did just then, so choose a different location to put the mice and the rats into the pool. You can start changing where the platform is to see how quickly they learn how to search properly for the platforms. You can start looking at how much time they spend in different sections of the arena, the maze, sorry. So what you can do is you can split it into kind of quarters, and you can record how much time an animal spends in each quarter. And you could do that in Minecraft as well. If anyone wants to go and do that, that'd be great. It'd be lovely to see what you do with it. And we can start changing and manipulating things and investigating how things like memory works in this pool, in this water maze. Now, there's a second type of experiment, which is basically the same, but it ties into this doing different and slightly more complicated things, and that's to do with this pink ball over here. So here we've got what we've called Atlantis platforms. Now, yeah, they're called Atlantis because they appear after a period of time. So they're a bit like the velocity of Atlantis, but in reverse. So you don't know about Atlantis, it was meant to be an ancient city which was really advanced for its time. And then there was a catastrophic natural disaster, and the whole city sunk beneath the ocean, and no one's been able to find it. So this is kind of like that in reverse. So what happens with this setup is that when we place a platform and we go into the arena, I keep calling it the arena, that's the next experiment, Richard. So let's put platform 4 in there, and let's go into here. Right, so what happens now is, and this is one of those experiments where you would want to do it with a friend or someone who didn't know what was happening, is that now it takes 60 seconds for that platform to appear. So you can now start swimming around a lot, you won't find it. And you can start using this to test in mice and rats, for example, about how much they remember where something is. So remember before when we were swimming around here and we knew it was going to be here? Now what might happen with a mouse or rat would be like, I'm sure that the platform was around here before. I'm sure that this is where I found it. So they might hang around here more. And then they go, oh, it's not here. So they might swim around a little bit. They might kind of start swimming over here and going, maybe it was over here. But then be like, no, it was definitely over here. I mean, our platform right now isn't over here, but you get the idea. So anyway, right, so our platform's appeared. Ah, there it is. Okay, so now you can swim over to where it is and jump off. Stop the timer, and there you go. So you can do different types of experiments, and this is the basic setup. As I say, there's lots of things you change on top of this to actually start testing memory and how you navigate in interesting ways. But we've not put those in here because that gets kind of complicated. But if you're interested, I'll put in a series of links to things here somewhere so that you can find out more on the internet and find out more about how the what maze works. Okay, right, so next things next will be the event arena.